What more did I love than to wake up in the morning, pour a cup of coffee, have a cup of coffee with a cigarette? That was heaven. You know, after that, I was ready to take on the world. Well, I probably had my first cigarette when I was 5 years old because my mom smoked. And I remember sneaking a cigarette out of her pack, going down behind the house and taking a puff. Coughing, 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 getting sick to my stomach, you know. But I think more so in high school, it was more just a peer group, peer pressure. The guys that I was hanging around with were all smoking. And you know, we do silly things when we're teenagers. And I think that's when I started smoking. I was around 16 years old. I thought it was cool. I enjoyed it. You know, we could always sneak off into the hills during high school, during our breaks, and all of us guys could sit around and smoke cigarettes. It was this big, you know, thing to do, and then go back to class after that. So my smoking continued until I was 25, actually, and I quit for a while at 25. I actually quit between 25 and 35 smoking cigarettes. To help me quit smoking cigarettes at that time, I started chewing tobacco. So I left one nicotine habit for another nicotine habit. Although I felt that the chewing tobacco was better for me because I'm not inhaling all this poisons into my lungs, I was still getting the nicotine into my bloodstream. I was still getting a lot of poisons into the oral pharynx area of my mouth, swallowing it into my stomach, things like that. So at 35, I decided, well, I think I'm going to quit chewing. Well, I kind of started doing that, and then for some reason, again, I just picked up cigarette smoking again. I don't want to blame anybody, but somebody offered me a cigarette one evening, and I said, sure, let me just try that. I'm not going to start again. And that's basically got me going again on it. So, you know, it's the nicotine, you know, is what I was addicted to. So I smoked until I had my cardiac event. And at that point, I had just decided I had to quit. Giving up cigarette smoking was, you know, very difficult for me. Not having that cigarette in the morning. Not having that cigarette after every meal that I used to have, you know. I eat a meal, smoke a cigarette. So I had to kind of switch things up a little bit. Maybe not have that cup of coffee at the same time every morning, but maybe push it off to where I'm leaving to go to work so I could drink it on the way to work and, you know, not give me that time to smoke cigarettes with that cup of coffee. I had to make my best friends my worst enemies. And I did one thing that I thought worked very well, and everybody has to have their own way on how to quit smoking. My hands became my best friends. Every time I wanted a cigarette, I would just look at my hands and wiggle them, and they would tell me, I'm not holding your cigarettes anymore. And this, at that time, would just give me enough to just kind of change my thought. And it would last, you know, 10, 15 minutes, and then I'd crave another cigarette. But I was bound and determined to quit. So basically, I walked circles for 6 months. You know, every time I wanted a cigarette, wiggle my hands, walk circles. But then I also tried to stay away from people who smoked. You know, that was big too. And I also told myself if I never bought another pack of cigarettes in my life, that way I could maybe afford a lotto ticket every week. So now I do buy one lotto ticket every week, just in case. And that's kind of one of my presents to myself, gifts to myself, that just says, hey, you know, you did something good. Here's a little gift that you can do. And, you know, it just, you know, I'll never win at that, but still, you know, you can have your dreams. Everybody should dream. Was it difficult? It was very difficult to quit smoking. But I made this picture in my mind that I was going to become a warrior, and I was going to fight my worst enemy. My worst enemy was nicotine. So I put on my warrior face and I fought it. And I won. And to this day, I'll never start smoking again. I quit smoking And it took me a while before I really understood that I could quit smoking, you know, that I could do lifestyle changes. When I did finally realize that, hey, I got this monkey off my back, I've won my battle against my worst enemy, I really feel, it really empowered me to feel, wow, if I can do that, I can do some other major life changes too. Life changes that'll make me more healthy. Life changes that are going to make me live a longer life, a healthier life. I, you know, don't want to be one of those elderly gentlemen that have cardiac problems, be debilitated. You know, the only thing I can do is get up and walk to the bathroom and back every day. So just knowing that I can quit smoking, which was so big to me, you know, because I loved my cigarettes. I loved them. They were, you know, like I say, they were my best friends at times, you know. And they always brought me pleasure. Wrong kind of pleasure. But they always brought me pleasure. So I just knew that, you know, maybe, you know, what's pleasurable isn't always the best thing for you. So this really empowered me to do more things with my life, to change my diet, to exercise more. And, you know, when I looked in the mirror, I looked at myself and I says, you know, you're getting stronger as the days go on. Before that, when I was really heavy set, I was looking at myself in the mirror going, boy, what's happening to you, you know? You used to be a healthy young guy, very muscular. Now you're just kind of getting chubby. You might have to worry about diabetes and all those things, you know, that come along with it. And again, this quitting the smoking part just really made me feel like, wow, I can do anything.